Hey there, campers. Curry and DBM back here again, wanting to bring you some Temporal Forces TCG live content, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. Ian and I have both gone through and selected either the Ancient or Future faction that we're going to represent in this video, and we want to start off by sharing some deck lists with you, and we're going to go ahead and talk through, I believe, Ian's deck first here. Oh, no, actually, sorry, I misspoke. It's my deck. So I'm going to be Mr. Future Man. And I wanted to take a box style approach. I know that the Turbo Hands build is kind of all the rage right now, as popularized from the Japanese Champions League tournament. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. Because, and from my experience so far with this expansion, Turbo Hands is a little linear for my taste. Not that it isn't powerful. Iron Hands EX is a very, very strong card here with its Ampy Very Much attack. And it has been further empowered from this expansion with Iron Crown EX, who is able to just sit on the bench and, for lack of a better word, amp the damage from Iron Hands. And then it's got some other new tools to play with. We've got our Miraidon, which is a nice one-prize starter for the deck that comes in with its Peak Acceleration attack and powers up all your guys. And we've included a few other cards here that would help in a few other matchups. Maybe not so much in what we're going to see today, but we've got Iron Leaves, which would be particularly strong against Charizard, thanks to its grass typing and its ability to just come and play, suck up a bunch of energy from your board, and put itself as a surprise attacker in the active spot without having to necessarily sit on your bench and be in danger at first. Just as far as general consistency goes, with the loss of Battle VIP Pass, you would think that you wouldn't necessarily have a way to get out your big, chunky basics, since we're limited to the new Buddy Buddy Poffin for grabbing 2 basics typically. Future has the advantage of having its Techno Radar attack. That didn't work. It's Techno Radar attack, or Techno Radar item card, where we would discard a card and search our deck for 2 future Pokemon and put them into our hand. And so we've got a few other tips and tricks that we can play with here, but we'll kind of explore those as we get into the video. So I'm going to jump over and let Ian talk about his deck here.
Yeah, so I have been messing around with Ancients recently. They are predominantly being seen, I think, online. Most people are dabbling with the sort of go wide strategy with the Koraidon, which will do 30 damage for each of your Ancient Pokemon in play. I did play that a little bit in person and online, and I was getting a little frustrated, I think, with some of the consistency issues in terms of filling up your bench. It's a little bit harder to do, and in order to do that consistently, you have to sacrifice some deck space to make room for more search cards. I've seen Great Balls even finding their way into decks, and I don't really like that card. And so I decided to focus more on the all-in energy acceleration with the dark patches, which of course necessitated that I cut out the fighting energy requirement attackers of Koraidon and any sort of opportunity for something like a Slitherwing, right? Now, I think that does make me a little bit more vulnerable to Iron Hands, but instead, the consistency of being able to chain attackers is something that I'm pretty optimistic about with this list. And in my early testing, it seemed like it's been a little bit better in that way. Sure. I also dumped the Awakening Drum for Prime Catcher, because if I'm not filling my bench up with a bunch of Ancients, Drum doesn't do as much.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. So Catcher is something that I'm really hype about. And then obviously, because we're all in on these dark patches, it's more likely we can actually charge up the Roaring Moon EX. So this bad boy, of course, we've seen in, I think, Curry, you and I covered a early Moon list,
yep.
A couple months ago. And so we've got a couple copies of him in there. And because he's an Ancient, still benefits in terms of feeding our Baby Moon, which is sort of the center point of the deck. So similar to like a United Wings thing, we're able to stack the discard pile with Ancients throughout the game and buff up our Vengeance Fletching. So that's the deck. It's pretty fun. I have no idea. I've gotten 0 games against Future yet.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I've just completely dodged Future all on the ladder, and nobody at my league is playing it. So this will be very new for me.
Awesome. This will be exciting. I haven't actually gotten to play against a ton of Ancient decks either. I know I've seen the Koraidon list here and there, but it has actually been when I've been playing other decks. So I'm not positive how these two match up into each other. And then furthermore, from you making the changes that you've talked about, I don't know how that's going to impact things as well. So it's kind of exciting. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump over, and we'll give you guys some gameplay.
Oh, I like your hat,
dude. Thank you. I worked on making my little character as awkward looking as possible. We've got a bad Christmas sweater with Stantlers, a Stantler hat, and then shorts and flip flops. So...
Well, we couldn't see your flip flops, but
oh, dang.
We'll
catch them later.
We'll take your word for it.
Oh boy, do I want to go first or second? I feel like since I know you're playing Miraidon, I feel like I should go second so you don't get the immediate attack.
Now, see, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was thinking that I wanted to go second as well. So,
all right, I'm gonna see how that goes. Do I want to go first? No.
Oh
man. Interesting.
So we're fine with that as a starter because we've got this. And so, even post-rotation without Escape Rope in the format, you still don't necessarily want to open up with multiple bench Pokemon. But just...
Yeah. I guess Valiant turn 1 switches are not really in format anymore.
Right. That's lost a little bit of power.
Yeah.
We'll grab one of those. And see, I actually kind of dislike the fact that I opened up with Crown. I was going to try to avoid benching those as long as possible, just because they should be relatively easy for you to pick off.
Yeah, they do have that darkness weakness, which is
right.
It's a boon to me.
Bench that, and pass.
Okay, let's see what we got here. So first off, we're going to go ahead and do a Vessel. We're going to dump this Flutter Mane in the grave. Not super good against your deck. And grab ourselves some energy. And then I need to go ahead and set my engine up. And that is with my Radiant Greninja. So let's do a quick little concealed cards. Yes. I still haven't figured out optimal ordering with this deck.
Sure.
Like sort of considering like the supporters are kind of funky.
Right.
In Ancients,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do an Explorer's Guidance.
Especially that card.
Yeah, this is a funky card. Like, there's no two ways about it. I got a lot of options here, and I don't know like how good some of them are. So I have an Arven that I love. I love Arven in general.
Right.
And so it's like it makes me want it, but Arven's kind of one of those cards you want to see late in the game.
Okay.
At least like if you can charge up your early attackers, or you want to see it right at the beginning. But I've already played a supporter. I'm hoping to find like Sadas in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just grab a Roaring Moon, a Baby Moon, and a Nest Ball so that I can start charging up my my bench.
Okay.
So I'm gonna grab another Roaring Moon here.
And unlike real life play, where we would have easy access and an easy ability to verify how many ancient guys are in your discard, we're both going to constantly have to check your discard pile.
I know. I do get the Dark Patch off here, which is again the reason I just being able to hit on turn 2 is just so huge.
Right.
And Dark Patch helps with that. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 ancient cards in the discard pile, which should get me to 110, which doubled should get me to 220.
Yep.
So I'm going to retreat my Morpeko, which is a free retreat cost when he doesn't have energy. I'm going to go ahead and do Vengeance Fletching for an exact knockout, which is not what I expected to happen in this deck. A little bit lucky you got forced to start Crown.
Yeah, I thought about moving it, but at the same time, I really didn't want my Miraidon to go down. I know hands can still be difficult for you to knock out, so I kind of wanted it to stay where it was. Goodness.
Yeah, hands is really tough, I think, for this deck. It's just a theory. But if you know, I mean, especially once you get crowns and once you get some booster capsules, you can hit past what even my booster capsules can take my HPs to. Like, you can hit 200 with it.
Right. Okay, but so with that being said, like, now I'm gonna just avoid putting a crown down so you don't have a boss target. Go ahead and dump. A lightning energy. So we got plenty of those. I think we just grab another hands and a leaves. So we bench hands. EXP share to him. And then just having the leaves in hand kind of gives us the backup to, even if you gust up that hands, we can move it.
Yeah.
And then we'll just hit you for 60.
And it is a little scary having the Radiant Greninja on the bench, which even if you don't get everything set up, you know, all you got to do is gust it up and take 2 prizes.
Right.
So, like, that's scary. Okay. Well, this first play is pretty easy, which is Vessel. It's really kind of cool to get to run 4 Vessel in a deck, like, without looking silly.
Right.
You know? Because it serves as another way to dump. Like, I'm dumping my Flutter Mane here, which I want in the grave anyways. Most of the time, it's not being played unless it's against certain matchups. So, and now I'm getting to bench a third Moon, which should carry me, you know, I think most of the way through the game. I'm going to do a concealed cards to get an energy in the grave. And I will go ahead and do... I'm going to do an... I'm trying to decide how much I want to power up this turn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go ahead and use an Ultra Ball here. I'm going to dump this Counter Catcher, which is not going to be useful probably, as well as an energy. So that I can go and grab myself another Baby Moon. So I got all 4 Baby Moons out now. We're going to do a Sada's Vitality. Boom. And boom. Draw 3. And then, let's see here. Like what we've got. We're up to 140, which isn't, like, huge for this deck. But we still got some turns to try to, like, fill the grave a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do a Vengeance Fletching and take out the Miraidon and go up 3 prizes, which seems like it would be a lot, but Iron Hands exists, so, you know.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of an awkward situation here, though, where I've got the Iron Hands that already has 2 energy on it, and I'd like to be able to generate her to it, but I also need access to the free retreat that it has thanks to that future booster capsule.
Right.
But I think... got 1 energy on my discard already. I'm going to go Energy Search, take out this Fighting, just to kind of have it out of the deck. Attach the Electric Energy. I'm going to avoid... I've got a Miraidon, but I'm actually going to avoid benching it here just because I want to force you to knock out 2 EXs to win.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and play Iron Leaves here just because otherwise I don't think I'm going to have an opportunity to do so.
I think that makes sense, too. if you don't have a way to get the Iron Hands charged up quite yet,
right,
you go ahead and get things cooking. There's the generators.
There it is.
I was wondering where they were. Yeah, hit one there. Another generator. Oh boy. All right.
Oh.
Number 3, dude.
Wait.
What?
We almost got there.
Oh, that one whiffed. Okay. All right.
We were very close.
That was scary, bro.
The problem is this is just one prize, but I guess that's good enough. And then I kind of...
What do you hit for weakness?
yeah. I've got kind of not an advantage, but for the rest of the game, even if I retreat this, I can have it sitting on the bench ready if you ever decide that you want to try to bench an EX.
Yeah, for sure. It's a little dicey. And right now, I really hate that Vengeance Fletching won't tell you when you hover the card until it's in the active. It won't tell you unless it's in the active how much it's gonna do. So I have to do some manually counting, which is not ideal for when you're trying to play the game.
Right.
And it gives you a counter.
Well, you did 140 last turn, and we've added 1, so 150. That should be 160.
I'm gonna fail this Ultra Ball.
I'd be really curious to see if you could actually hit 220 this turn.
Yeah, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. I am going to 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 160 right now, if my math is not betraying me. I'm going to Sada's.
Okay.
And charge up some moons here. I'm actually going to spread it just in case,
sure.
some shenanigans or goings-ons happen. And then I will... Let's take a look here. I'll go ahead and retreat with Morpeko, which, by the way, I'm really loving the Morpeko in this deck. Just having that flexibility, and even just there's been games where I've just sacrificed it, and it's been oh, thank goodness I was able to do that,
Right, and it being one prize versus the other free retreat options that decks have right now is just Mute EX, and that's not ideal by any means.
Right, yeah. I mean, and obviously in some decks when you're running enough 2-pricers, it's well, why not just throw another one in there that can draw me cards? But in this deck, wanting to be the single prize deck that's sort of chugging along and not putting vulnerabilities out, unless you really have to.
Right.
Right.
So we'll go ahead and get a switch card in there. Doesn't really help too much with damage fixing, but lets us retain the energy on that. And I'm going to try to disrupt you a bit here and hope that I can make you whiff an energy next turn.
Sure. That's something that I think this deck is a little bit vulnerable to if you get ahead. A lot of times this deck's playing from behind, in which case the Iono typically isn't as big of a deal. But if you do get up ahead, then all of a sudden you are making yourself a little vulnerable. Just like that. So.
And I actually am considering not using Ampu very much here, just so I still have access to Counter Catcher on my next turn. But I don't know if that's correct. Gosh, that's tough. Yeah, we're going to try that and see how it goes. Because I've got to take 3 knockouts no matter what I do.
Right. Makes sense.
And this actually should put me in a position where I would potentially be able to use 2 Counter Catchers still, since you're going to take a 2-prize knockout at some point.
Right. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and Again, ordering is a thing that like I'm still figuring out with this deck.
Sure.
You played 3 generators, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna put a PokéStop out. And then do I want to hit it now? I think no. Hold on. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna hit it.
That's a pretty good one.
Right, we get two great cards here for sure.
Getting the energy is really nice, and another ancient card.
So I'll go ahead and Explorer's Guidance.
13.
2 cards here. We're gonna go this. And oh man, this is where like I need the quick check. I gotta like count my energies here.
Right.
That's something I'm like not good at with TCG Live is like checking these things quickly when the timer's counting. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you have a timer pop up on your screen. It makes you panic.
Yeah, exactly. So,
ooh,
I know.
This must have been some good cards. Well, that's the one thing that card, and it's a reason why I don't think it will see much play outside of something that is playing Roaring Moon. Like losing 4 cards is a lot. I mean, you look at something. You have Colress, and even though 2 of those cards go to the Lost Zone, one, most of the decks that play the card enjoy that as a benefit, and you get 3 cards to your hand. So it's just a much larger net gain.
Right. And it still won't tell me how much I'm hitting for.
Let me see. I just checked a second ago. That's
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You're hitting for 210 right now.
210.
If my math is correct. I think you had 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 6. Yep.
Dang. That's a bummer. Because I can get just a touch closer.
Whew.
And then if I hit... How many Ultra Balls are in my grave? Let's see, how many Ultra Balls and Vessels? Because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, am I in desperation mode enough that I want to try to like reach for this one shot? But if I miss, it hurts. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's see, I have 3 Ultra Balls in here. 1, 2, 3.
3 vessels.
All right.
Yep.
Fine. I'll do it. Whatever. It'll be fun. Let's go, dude.
Oh, man. Well, I'm pretty sure that's just game then. Like I've already burned my Super Rod. My other
the vessel dumps into the grave.
Yep.
We attach here. You
still have 2 Sadas left. Yeah, because you're going down to 1 burn.
And we Vengeance Fletching for 230 in the big knockout.
Goodness gracious.
Down to 2 cards, though. I'm hoping with this booster capsule I picked up, which was probably one of the best top decks I could have had. Oh, well, you have the Leafs weakness anyways.
Right.
I was sitting here like, oh, maybe you don't get this knockout, but you do with the Leaves. I guess you don't with hands.
Word?
Aw, boo.
I don't remember if you play any Switch cards or not.
I will never tell.
But I'm pretty sure you only had 8 energy in your list. So I think this
no.
may lock the game up for me because I don't have another way to win. Like if I take a knockout, you've got enough damage now to where you can one hit anything in my deck and you're at 1 prize. So I think this is the only way we can win this game.
Well,
that one shot was
that was costly. It was costly.
It was scary. Well, it's interesting because it's like if you take it, you pretty much guaranteed win unless this loses you the game.
Well, so here's the thing though. Right? So I have a way to get energy.
Okay. Oh, you have Prime Catcher too. I totally forgot about that.
I have Prime Catcher, and I also have 2 Super Rods in the list.
Oh, see? Yeah, no. So
I'm going to do this.
This is just done.
I'm just going to try to pull stuff out here.
Sure.
The only thing is, I was a bad Pokemon player, and I didn't check the deck for Prime Catcher, so I could not have it. Like it's possible.
Well, if you don't have the Prime Catcher, then you have a Super Rod.
Right. So I'm gonna go PokéStop. Do I want to do this first or second? I guess
I don't think it matters in this instance because what you're looking for is an item anyway.
I will Sada's first for card draw. And there's the Prime Catcher.
That'll do it. And yeah, that turn 1 knockout really hurt.
Yeah. And so I still have... I'm just taking a guess. I would double check here, but I didn't shuffle anything in, so I'm assuming I still have... Yep. Okay. And that's Vengeance Fletching. Woo!
Darn.
And the Prime Catcher swap off the Awakening Drum says that the Awakening Drum would have done nothing there.
Right. So out of curiosity, was your last prize the Super Rod?
No, it was a Pokégear.
Oh, okay. Well,
I knew the Super Rod was in there. I saw that because I checked, because I know from playing IRL how important the Super Rods are for chaining attackers, because it's like sometimes you accidentally dump a Roaring Moon or like a Baby Moon or 2.
Gotcha.
And then you're like, oh crap, I can't play the game anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, campers, I think we only have enough time for one game in this video, but stay tuned. Ian and I are both going to be recording some more videos with both of these decks, in addition to some other ones coming up on the channel soon. So we hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, get in the comments. Hit us up on Discord. Check out some of the other gameplay that we've got for other games, such as Star Wars Unlimited or Disney's Lorcana, and we'll catch you next time.